All right. What up? Welcome back to another Ramblings in the Basement. We got three special guests today. You want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Niral Desai. I'm an artist. I make music. Primarily the genre that I'm currently making is Bolly pop. It's a mix of Bollywood music, instrumentals, and pop music. And so yeah, check me out on Spotify. My artist name is Niral Desai, Niral, and then last name is Desai.
He came so prepared. I feel like I can't even.
He got it scripted out.
That was pretty good. My name's Ilias. I guess I was like creative founder of TCC and Tapped, which is like we'll get into later.
My name is Brian. I do some data work, but really just on the pod to support.
All right.
And he does a lot of the heavy lifting for Tapped as well.
Yeah. Does it like all the behind the scenes work?
Yeah.
Do some work like on the data stuff. Yeah, just making sure we can get everything in to get the app moving.
All right. That's the important part, to be honest.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of do everything by myself right here for the podcast. So if I had someone like that, that'd be very much appreciated.
You had to teach them everything though, and then like believe in them. It can be hard.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, I feel that because when I started this podcast, it was supposed to be me and my cousin, but I was low-key doing everything. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do everything. Fuck it. How it has to be, I guess.
Why did you start your podcast?
To be honest, we had always been wanting to start it just because we'd always sit outside. Like, we used to be heavy potheads. So we'd be smoking like blunt and just sit around talking. We're like, yo, we should start up a podcast. And then we never even got to it until one of his cousins got together and he was like, yo, let's start a podcast. You know, and we're like, fuck it. Let's just get together, start recording. And that shit was like unplanned. We literally I just pulled up my phone and just like put like voice memos and we just recorded on there. And then eventually we started getting more equipment and shit.
It's cool because a lot of the times people will say they're going to start something and then they never do. But the fact that like you even just started with like a voice memo and just did like the quickest version.
Yeah, because we were just like, fuck it, let's just start. That's the hardest step is just getting started. Once you're like,
bro,
just keep the momentum going and shit. That's what I mean. That's still always the point that I would make is like consistency is like the most important part. Because after you get started, just to keep uploading, like even now we don't really get that many listeners, but it's slowly going up.
Yeah.
So.
And that doesn't matter either. Yeah, it's like sometimes like if you just come and the person comes in as a guest, they now can bring their listeners or people that want to listen to their story.
Yeah, facts. But tell us more about your music. I'm actually pretty interested about that.
So I started making music last year. Started making in March. The story behind it was I was on Snapchat and I was posting freestyles. And Ilias, my boy, he called me out and was like, yo, like, go to the studio, like, because you're just posting on Snapchat, on the stories, like, you know, you can make it out into a real thing. So I was like, yeah, bet. So then he connected me with the engineer, went to the engineer, and started making music from there.
You got a producer, or you just, like, go online, buy beats?
It depends. Sometimes I buy the beats, sometimes they send me for free.
I feel...
Yeah. And then also not a producer, but engineer. He mixes my songs, he masters them, and he's out in Reston.
All right. So I need to meet more engineers and shit, because I've never like actually worked with anyone like that, so it's always just been whatever I learned by myself. Like I've never had a teacher or anything. So like when I said I semi know what I'm doing, like I really don't know how to mix audio, like vocals like that yet. Because like I said, I haven't really worked with any vocal artists. So I still need to practice on that part.
Do you make like EDM music?
I started doing EDM, but I kind of got into hip hop just because one of my other cousins, he always liked to freestyle. Like at parties, we'd get drunk and we just go out and freestyle. Like he would just put on like the instrumentals and just like start going off on that shit. And he was like, hey, if you're making music, you should start making some hip hop beats for me to freestyle to. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. So there's like a mixture of both. Like whenever I show people like my music, it's like a combination of like EDM, hip hop, which kind of makes it hard because not a lot of people can like hop onto like
on both.
Yeah, on both. It's like EDM type of.
Really like
Fred again.
What's his name?
Fred again.
Fred again, bro. He makes like hip hop EDM music, and I know to people who are probably watching, they're like, oh, we've been known about him, but. No, he's been showing us for like a long time, but we listen to him a lot.
Yeah.
You can't find anything like
We're
that.
bumping him all day today.
His beats are good with everything.
Yeah.
You familiar with who he is?
I don't think I do.
He's really big right now.
I was saying I also have an EDM type of song. It was like dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, a mix of like hip hop and.
What's your latest track that you?
My latest track, Bolly Pop.
Bolly
Yeah.
Pop.
But besides that,
No, but like that's the name of it.
yeah,
like,
it's called Bolly
Oh, it's
Pop.
called Bolly
Yeah,
Pop.
'cause I want to be the face of the genre, so I was like, let me
Nah, I
just
feel that's how
say
you
fuck it.
blow
the
up.
genre.
That's how you blow up.
Yeah, he made the genre.
What's the name of the EDM song?
Crank it. Yeah. And then I also have songs with Fat Joe's son. If you know who Fat Joe is.
I don't.
Oh, he's a big rapper in New York. So his son pretty much is like wants to be as good as his dad. So I have 2 songs with his son, and then third one's coming soon. And then I have a song with Young Smiles. He's a big artist in Florida. So
Good shit.
yeah, things are slowly picking up.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Shout out Muji. The new song's coming out too.
You ever work with like local artists?
Huh?
You ever work with like local artists?
Yeah, I've not like Nova, but Richmond. I worked with the artist named Sea Life and Feli the God. Oh shit!
Oh my god.
Sorry. I am so sorry. I was trying to get the dog back.
Also the phone.
Knock the camera down.
The camera just fell, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, you're
Nah,
good.
you good.
But we're gonna have to get Layla back.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Layla,
I was trying
Phil,
to
go
grab
grab
it
her.
back. Yeah, hold on, wait. I was trying to grab
Layla,
it
go back.
My elbow just hit the table.
Just like hold her.
Good girl.
Or like put her in between your legs.
Actually, do you have a leash? I could take her out.
You just leave her outside. She doesn't run away.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Shit, my wallet.
She'll probably just go to the back,
You shouldn't cut that out.
or just leave her in their room. She won't leave the room.
You could screw it.
Should I close the door?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, she's chilling. She's pretty chill. You don't gotta worry too much about her. That's what I like. Sometimes she'd just be chilling outside. She'd just lay down like right outside in the porch.
So what was the last topic? I'm trying to remember.
Muji.
Muji. Oh yeah, shout out Muji. I have a song coming with her. She's artist out in Northern Virginia, actually, Woodbridge.
Oh
So
yeah.
it'll be my first time collabing with artists that's nearby.
So I've been wanting to connect to like more local artists.
Yeah, for sure we should tap in. I mean, if you make beats and then I can come here and we can get sessions going. I don't know when you're moving to West Virginia though.
Probably like in a few months, to be honest. But yeah,
I saw
speaking
your
of,
podcast. I saw you. You're looking to get like a property and everything.
yeah, so right now I'm moving with my family, but I've been saving up to get like my own place, and then I want to get one with like at least a couple rooms, so I can get set up a room for like just recording the podcast. I want to set up like a room for the studio and shit.
I saw you say that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I know he's looking to do the same. We're not exactly for
I definitely want
podcasts.
to get. I don't really want to get like a small place to be spending a bunch of money on it. It just doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I want to get a good house.
Especially in this area, like I know that's why you're trying to move to West Virginia. It just makes so much
Yeah, it's
more
cheaper.
sense.
You can get more land out there.
If you're not trying to go out like all the time, it's not really like too big of a deal. Like being in West Virginia, like it's straight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I was never really too social, so it's like I'd just be chilling at home, just working.
Do you work like remote?
No, I do pest control right now.
Oh, so you have to like you go in person.
Yeah.
So are you gonna drive back to Virginia when you move to West Virginia? You're gonna try to work.
Well, they'll just set me up with clients over
Oh, okay.
there,
It's a
so
big
I'll
company.
be
I
chilling.
see what
Yeah,
you're trying to say. Okay.
yeah. So I'll be chilling either way. And I mean, I have some coworkers that come down from West Virginia. It's like an hour away, so I mean, it'll just be a longer
I
drive.
mean,
but
if you can go in West Virginia, fuck it, do that. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know, like, man, like, is it really worth it to drive an hour each way every day? Like, not
You'd
really.
be surprised some people do it though.
Don't.
I mean,
Nobody's trying to say here that people don't do it. I'm trying
Yeah.
to say, is it really worth it? And I've kind of just come to it recently. I don't think it is.
I think it depends how much you're getting paid.
I mean, to drive like an hour and get paid like double what you get paid to not drive an hour is one thing, but to drive an hour and save a little bit and have a little bit of a bigger house, like,
Yeah,
you can have so much, like, to drive 5 minutes to work is so insane. Like, people that do that, like, because I'm fully remote right now, and it's just like, it's definitely nicer not to have to commute.
oh yeah, I'm
It makes a big
sure.
difference on your life.
I'm sure because you just have more free time.
One time I like drove down to Fredericksburg for work, and like, imagine doing that every day.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
literally do that every single day.
But I
They're
think it
just
was
like, oh, like I have a bigger house. Like,
no, it's not worth
the
it.
only reason that'd be worth it is like for your kids to put them in a good
Yeah.
situation.
When I lived in California, I was working at like a marketing firm. Like when I first moved there, there was somebody that I knew that would drive an hour and a half every single day. I couldn't
Bro,
believe
nah, I would not.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
yeah.
Each way.
Yes, bro.
This also because LA has traffic, right?
Yeah, but,
It's
but it's
probably
not like it was like 10 minutes down the street and then it was like an hour of traffic. It was still at least like, yeah, to your point, an hour and a half in California is different from like an hour and a half here. It was
Yeah.
more so like, if it was Virginia, it would have been like 45 minutes to 50 minutes.
I didn't
Yeah.
do that in New York.
Traffic makes it so much worse. Like the other day, I think it was yesterday. I went to DC for like one of my clients. That shit had me fucked.
Oh,
I was like stopping like every 5 feet. I was like, bruh.
Really?
What time did you go out there?
It was like prime time. It was like around 4.
Yeah, traffic here gets bad.
Bro, that shit was bad. I was like, damn.
You're like, I gotta do this in the morning.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, I had to go there because I had like an appointment. So I had to go at that time. But I was like, fuck. Oh yeah, I definitely prefer to stay out here in this area. But the reason I brought you on was because you have a book that you how long ago did you make this?
Dude, I made it like I actually made that while I lived in California for a year. I was like working on a guide because I had a lot of my friends who were saying that they needed help with like marketing, or they just said like write something quick so that way it's easier for me to just have access to it at all times. And I was consulting, or like basically getting on calls with artists, and then they would pay me for like an hour. And I was like, imagine I could now do like a consultation or just like have everything that I would need like an artist to know,
Yeah.
except I wouldn't have to get on the call. And so I
So
made
you got the
that,
book.
and some people were like, yo, just turn this into a book. They're like, I'll actually buy it. And then I was like, you know what, screw it. So then what I did was I wrote it down and I had it in like a notebook, and then I put all the text onto like a document. And then I was like, dude, I cannot publish this. I cannot do anything like this. This is not like a real book. So then at the time, this is when like ChatGPT first came out, like long time ago.
Yeah.
Instead of hiring a publisher for like a couple $100 or like an editor, I was like, why don't I just use AI to be my publisher, my editor?
Yeah.
So I did that, and then it like cleaned up all the grammatical errors and changed the formatting a bit. But obviously, I wrote the whole thing myself. It's 28 pages. It's not a full book. It's like a quote unquote guide. And then so I put it online and I sold it to other people, or just I was like, if anybody wants to get it, and like a couple hundred people bought it, and then people were like, yeah, we'll make it like a physical book. I'd love a physical copy. And in my head, I wasn't even thinking, oh, let me make a physical copy. And then so then I just ended up doing.
So you got like a printing company?
Yeah,
for
so
it?
there's a printing company, and we have like a manufacturer for it now, which is dope.
That's
We
tough.
obviously didn't sell millions of copies, bro. We sold like 450, but for me, that's pretty
I
good.
mean,
bro.
it's a for first book.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm independent, bro. So it's like, I thought that was really cool, and I figured we just go through the process because I have been working on like another book, and I didn't know the process of like how to create it or anything, but I was just like, one day I'm gonna release this, and now thankfully because of this, I know the process of now being able to publish a book. I haven't put it on like Amazon and like all the other like outlets that you can put it on.
There's a cover in case y'all are wondering.
Yeah. So
pretty-
right now it's only on like TCC's website, or you can buy it from me personally, or you can buy it as a physical copy.
So, yeah, so I saw because you sent me like the Cash App to send you the thing, and I saw like the TCC, and I thought it was like under a publisher or something. But I mean, it's like your own
Yeah,
publishing
AI,
company.
yeah, so we're publishing it ourselves.
All right, that's tough.
Partner with like a manufacturer, because the same thing with like music, right? They're always like, if you're an independent artist, when you even get like a little bit of sales or traction or whatever, you make way more money than if you were
Oh
in a
yeah,
deal.
because you keep everything to yourself.
Keep everything. So like the difference is like if I signed with like a pub deal or like manufacturer deal, maybe they would have helped me sell more copies. They could have probably helped me sell like 10,000 copies, but I still wouldn't have made as much and learned as much
Yeah.
compared to if I did it on my own.
Nah, for sure. That's why I started like a record label. I'm wearing the hat.
Hell yeah.
Just because I never thought I would get into like making my own music, but I was like, just in case, I'd rather have my own shit and then sell under that and like have artists come under me, as opposed to like having them go on to like a different label and then they're like selling half their shit, like half the revenue to like the label. I always tell like if an artist is gonna come onto like my record label, like I'm not taking that big of a percentage. I'm just taking like a small percentage just so I can like afford to keep it running. But other than that, like I'm really trying to get them to like make as much, because at the end of the day, they're like the market. Like they're the face of like of the brand. So it's like I never want to be like that label that's just like, all right, let me take all this shit and then get rich off of other people's work.
I think that's been my biggest mistake, bro. There's so many people we've worked with that I chose not to get a percentage from and just help to help. But I think those like long-term connections are like people will always remember that and like still look out for you later on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, you could make quick money or short money by like screwing people over or doing the wrong types of deals. But then like the word spreads quickly and then people just don't
Yeah,
wanna work
exactly.
with
You get a bad reputation
You know
for
what I mean?
yourself.
And this industry is like very, very close knit. Like you'd be surprised. Like you'll meet somebody and then they know like 4 other people that you know, and those 4 people aren't even connected. We had an event that we threw in New York like last month for like our tech startup, and I met this one guy who has been talking to like 4 of my other friends that don't even know each other who are telling them about us to come and work with us.
Yeah, exactly.
And that shows like
word
how
spreads.
close, the word spreads and like how close knit everything is. And I think he's on the same page with you. Like he started his own record label as well.
Yeah, so actually, shout out Double Records.
Yeah.
It's a
So
record
He's
label.
killing it with the promos, man. He's killing it.
So I'm trying to basically start a record label too, where in the fact where I'm artist, but then I'm helping other artists develop.
Yeah,
So I can give them like advice, lessons, and then not only that is I'm with you on the same page. I don't want like their money or like the percentage.
yeah,
I'd rather just give money to them, let them like make music, let them learn under me, and then from there I would let them like shout out my music, like shout out Niral Desai.
Yeah,
Once
exactly.
they become big.
yeah. I always went into that same mentality
Yeah.
where it's like if one person on the label blows up, like they'll help.
Everybody else will
yeah,
blow, yeah.
it helps like bring attention to the whole label. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always like, just let them, give them full creative freedom, let them do whatever they want, and then if it blows, it blows, and if not, at least they're enjoying it. I don't want anyone to come into it feel like they're just getting screwed over or some shit. Cause I mean that, like you said, it gives you a bad reputation, and just not only on the artist, but like also the listeners. Like people find out about that
Very
shit,
quickly,
Yeah.
and then they
Especially in
start
this
fucking
day and
with
age,
you.
social media. I mean, we know
Yeah.
what's going on right now with the beefs.
Yeah,
and shit.
exactly. People start complaining about that shit real quick, and then listeners find out, and it's just bad all around, But yeah. So you say you got your own label. Like, how do you start that up?
So basically, I'm trying to promote it. I'm trying to like
Yeah.
get it started. It's not in the process yet, but by the end of this year, I'm trying to sign 5 artists, and so I've made t-shirts for the song with the help of Ilias. We've got some t-shirts going. I performed at Virginia Desai events, which was the 1-year anniversary party, and during that party, I handed out like 30, 40 t-shirts.
That's what's up.
Just to get the
And
name out
yeah,
there.
to get the
Yeah.
name out there, and then I gave it to my homies. Obviously, gave it to my family, and so just trying to get the name out there. I put up a post on IG talking about my double records. I might make a couple more posts about that and get it going. I have my own
Yeah.
account for the record label, so some artists are following me. So I mean that's a good sign.
I started up like an account on Instagram, but I was like, I got too tired of like trying to, cause
Yeah,
I'm like
no.
trying to run too many accounts. I was like, nah. So I was like, I'm gonna just use my main account to promote all that shit.
No, I feel that.
But
It's good to have a separate branch though. Like if,
Yeah.
nah, it
you know,
is.
like
I
one
just-
thing I learned from Ilias is like, if you start your own founding thing, and then you have your own thing on your side. Like, for example, I'm an artist, but then I want to make a double records record label. So from there, it elevates you to like a boss status, where people see you as a boss. Obviously, it's not about like what people see you as; it's about like what you want to be. But I'd rather become a boss, like in the
Nah, it
sense of
definitely
like.
helps.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be that guy who's like leeching off other people. You want to make your own thing,
Yeah.
and from there.
No, I mean you got a point, because if you're gonna have like your own record label, you want to have a specific page where you can like promote
Yeah.
artists under
Yeah.
it, because it is gonna be a little weird if it's like I'm posting about someone else's music on my
Yeah.
personal page.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So what you guys been up to? Like, besides all this, like y'all working?
Yeah, I mean, my main focus right now is with the tech startup Tapped AI, and
Yeah.
we basically created an app where you can create a world tour from your iPhone. And
So y'all like doing this full time?
yeah, so this has been my whole focus. What I was doing beforehand was running like a creative media agency, and that's where I was able to get help from Brian when like I was in college. He was like one of the first people that was really pushing the brand heavy, and what we were doing at the time was like throwing events, posting like news online, and then also doing like marketing for clients. And like before anybody like believed it, this dude right here was going around telling everybody on campus, bro. And so like that's when the things started to turn, because just like how you were saying, you were doing everything yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's how I was. I was basically working on this blog. I was doing it by myself, and then I started to get other people involved, like him and some of my other friends on campus, and those people really pushed it to like another level. And then obviously we started throwing events, and then like shows would sell out and things started picking up. And then that's where even like most of my stuff comes from with the book. I've done like multiple different marketing campaigns. I've worked with a bunch of different artists. I've booked shows myself. I've promoted shows. I've just like done a bunch of different stuff through the creative media agency, which is dope, because for me it was like any idea that I had, I could start pushing with, or if my friends had an idea, we could go through with it. And like he would even send us like artists to manage at the time. There was like 2-3 artists that you had sent me in college.
Back
that
in
we
the day.
yeah that we had ended up like it. Bro, his ears were like to the what's it called? Not to the streets, but I guess you could say that. But like, bro, his ears were so good at finding like music early on, or knowing about the local scene. And so he would also like let us know about certain artists to have them perform at our shows during college. And then with that, like being in the music industry, you get to see all these different problems and stuff that are going on. It's a mess, right? And so, you know, technology is a great way to help with that mess. And I ended up meeting one of my co-founders because he interviewed me for a podcast, right? And that's why when I came here, I was like, of course, it doesn't matter how big a podcast is because you never know what could come from it or who could listen to it. Like I've worked on projects that have done, you know, 50 times the amount of views that maybe a podcast that I was on did, but to this day, nobody is DMing me about those projects. But from 4 years ago, I might have done a podcast and somebody is still DMing me to this day. And they're like, yo, I want to work with you because I listened to this podcast that you did. And I resonated with this because a marketing campaign for like an album release might be like a day and then it's gone. Or like you're only spending a limited amount. But if you're sitting down and you're listening to our stories for like 2 hours, you're actually invested.
You get to like deep dive into everything.
Of what we're working on. And like, I'm always convinced that if anybody comes and sees what we're working on with TCC or with Tapped or with my friends in terms of their music or him helping us out with the startup, if you actually see what we're doing, there's no doubt that this is going to work out. It's just a matter of like, bro, we're not Nepo.
It's just the exposure.
Connections. We don't have that. The exposure is coming, and over time, you know, 2-3 years from now, this will age like fine wine, right? When I said this and we were right about it. But right now we're still at the stage with the tech startup where things are starting to pick up really quickly. The past month we went live with the new direction. We already have a couple thousand people on the app. We had an event that sold out the first week since we went live. But to be fair, we've been working on this tech startup for like 2 years. And it's thanks to people like him who's been able to get like the venue information. So when you go on the app.
You guys have an app?
Yeah, it's called Tapped AI on the App Store. And so then when you go on there, it's just a map of all the venues in America, or like the ones that we've been able to get. And he's been able to get so many. So you go in and he finds a venue, he gets all the contact information, he gets different statistics on it. And then what we do is we put that on our app. And then now you are a performer. You look at thousands of venues in the US and then you find which venues would be perfect for you to perform at. And then you go ahead and, you know, click a button, you click the mass outreach button. And then from there, it contacts all the venues and you don't even have to type. You do have to type. You'll be like, hey, I want to perform this weekend. Then the AI will come in and it'll create like a fully detailed like outreach message for you. And people have been able to get booked. People have been able to go on tours from it. You know, he found different people to connect
That's
with.
what's up.
And so that's what we're working on because it's like at the end of the day, the music industry is very gate kept. A lot of people just have connections. Let's say, for example, I want to go to Japan tomorrow. And let's say I started making music, right? I don't make music, but if I did, let's just use this as an example. I went to Japan tomorrow. I could get on the app and I can now, you know, reach out to the venues in Japan that would make sense for me to perform at. And then I can get into contact with them. And what we're eventually going to work on too is when you're communicating with the venues, even if you type in English, it's going to translate it to Japanese for you. Because that's another barrier. You can't communicate with these Japanese venues, right? But American artists perform there all the time, right? And then now when they communicate back to you, guess what? On the app, it's
translate it. That's tough.
And so that's the barrier that we want to break is that, you know, he's getting venues in the U.S. and some from out of country, but we want to be able to do it globally. There's some venues right now, like in Antarctica, we put like a joke. If you check on the app, when you download it, Tap the app, we put a venue in, what's it called? Antarctica. We put 2 venues in Afghanistan. We have some like venues in China, like, and then obviously we have some serious ones too. But long-winded answer to answer your question of like what we're working on is Tapped AI is a tech startup. A lot of like the connections and problems that we saw in the music industry came from TCC, and that's how we get our foot in the door. But the tech startup is what we're building up, and that's what he's been able to help us out with so much.
That's actually really nice though.
Yeah. You can talk more about the process too, about how you got like the venues or like just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, we're really just trying to make it like the most accessible like platform for like any artist in the world to be able to like just go on the app and like start a world tour from their phone. So like right now, if you're an artist, it's really hard to like get in touch with like if you want to perform in Indiana, it's pretty hard to do that. It's a pretty like robust process, as in like it's not really like a defined process. It's different per person and different per like individual and organization. So we're trying to like kind of like start the process almost like as in like we want everyone in the world that's an artist like to go to Tapped and like on
Yeah.
Tapped you can see all the venues like booking information and like you can see the last part I said incorrectly. You can see all the booking information, but then the venue themselves can see all your booking information. So to see
Okay.
if there's someone that you want to have on there, and you could go a little bit more in detail about like how like does every venue have to sign up for Tapped, or like is there already
Yeah.
information about the venue on there, even if so like just to get a little bit more clarification to the listener, like
Listener,
if a venue is like in Germany and we already have their information on the venue. Like we have them on the like we can apply for the application to perform, but if the venue themselves isn't a Tapped user, are they going to be able to process that?
Yes,
So can you
yes.
explain that?
Yeah, so like even right now with what we have, like the reason why what he does is so important is because even if you're a venue and you don't download the app, we still have your data because he's going in and manually getting the data for you. So that way the artist can then communicate.
So it just sound like an email to them or something?
Basically, or
Alright.
like it has like their Instagram or like their Facebook, and then it also shows the people that perform there. So let's say, for example, they don't respond to their email. That's okay. You go and check all the other performers that they have had within the past month, past year, whatever. You now go and find them on Tapped, and you can reach out to them. And so it doesn't matter if these venues make a Tapped account or not. We do have a couple of thousand venues that have made accounts, but
Yeah.
the 50,000 venues or however many we
I mean,
have,
yeah.
right now, most of them did not. But that doesn't matter. Because if they want to come in and claim it, they can put more data on their profile. But even if they don't, we just keep the data that they already have, and it's already.
I
good
feel like
enough.
that's the best way to start it up because
Exactly.
like you're not gonna get them to agree to like sign up to
Exactly.
it.
But then when they have hundreds of people messaging them,
Yeah.
and then they see the
They'll-
demand,
they'll get
and even if
interested.
they
They'll
can
want to
use
get
it-
on Tapped themselves.
Yeah.
That way they can look at the reviews. So it's just like like as time goes, like the spots will get claimed, and like he was saying, and like it'll just be an easier experience for everyone when everyone's already on the Tapped.
That's honestly that's a really powerful tool because I was just about to say because you were talking about like how you're making shirts for your
Yeah.
label and everything. Like technology has made everything more accessible. Like to make your own shirts and shit like that because there is a very gated community when it comes to like trying to get anything done. Like I mean I have
I saw
merch
that.
for the
Yeah.
podcast. I have merch for the label. So yeah, I was gonna say like when you were talking about that, like a lot of this has become more accessible. Like you still have to put in the work yourself,
Of course.
but the access is there now. Like you
Yeah.
can't make those excuses anymore where it's like, oh, no one's giving me a chance anymore. It's like you have to create your own chances now.
Him and I were talking about this earlier, like what we're doing as a company. Do you know how many people this would take to do like 20, 30 years ago? And now thanks to like AI and like the internet and social media, this could be like
Oh yeah, you would need a whole team.
Yeah, and so like I was also had a talk with my co-founder Johannes, and he was saying that like what's it called? The next like $1 billion companies are not going to be like 100 people, 200 people, 10,000 people. The next $1 billion companies are going to be 10 people.
Yeah.
Look at how insane that is. Like if you
Yeah.
look at
That's
Post
what
Malone,
Robin Hood's already like, right? How
Yeah.
many people work at Robin Hood?
I'm not sure, but I know it's not a crazy amount. But if you look at like Post Malone, right?
Yeah.
Post Malone has like a team of 4 people. I assume it's probably bigger now. But when he blew up and he's making like hundreds of millions of dollars, there's
Yeah.
like 4 people on his team. That's because you don't need all these people to run these different things for you. And I think with this is a really really good time, especially with like what's happening with technology. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of AI, right? And they're like, oh, I don't want to use it because it's taking away from my creativity and it's not actually human. So don't use it for creative purposes. Use it
Yeah.
for your work. Use it for your job. Automate your job right now. Before 5 years from now, they're gonna automate it for you, and you're
Yeah.
gonna be out of a job. So for the next 5 years, coast through life and just chill. Or if you can work on it for a tech startup, this is the time to be involved because just like the way that I remember people would talk about like the 90s or like the internet, right? People
Yeah.
the internet was the biggest thing ever, and at first people hated it and they were so against it and they were afraid of it for privacy reasons and all these things, right? And then now when you look back at people are like, I wish I got more involved in the internet.
Yeah.
I wish I was a part of Amazon. I wish I started a company. I wish I
You just gotta not be afraid of the change.
exactly. And so like, look, for us, what we're working with our tech startup, if it fails, that's okay. At least we got to say that we tried, right?
Yeah.
We're having fun, bro. We're going to events. We're doing all this
Exactly.
stuff.
You get something out
Yeah,
of
like
it.
it's something out of it. At the end of the day, if this fails and we go and I just have to work a regular job for the rest of my life, I'm completely okay with that. But right now, there's a chance and there's a boom and something is going on, and we have the chance to be a part of that. And I'm glad that
It's
we can
just
say
keeping the
we're trying.
momentum going for
Yeah.
sure.
Even with you, like you have a 1-person team. I don't know if you're using AI,
No, I am. I was actually just gonna bring that up.
Opus Clips.
I use AI to edit my shit. It's like I don't even have to edit any of the videos or anything. Like, I
Right.
just upload it and then just like get little clips and shit.
What do you use? What's the software?
It's a website called Video. It's
Video?
VIDYO.
Uh-huh.
And I just recently found another one called Riverside. I think I'm gonna switch over to that one just because it's more integrated with like the Spotify for podcasts. So it's like you literally just take it and then upload it to like the distributor for the podcast.
Insane.
So yeah, I literally just upload the video, get a bunch of clips, and I'll have like all the transcripts and everything. And it makes it so much easier. Like at the end of the day, it's still a lot of work because you still have like you just take on more roles basically.
Yeah.
Because like now I'm the editor, I'm like the recorder, I'm like the producer and all that. But at the end of the day, like I'm just letting AI do
You
it.
can
I'm
spend
just
more
like
time on the content. And
Yeah.
like, what you're gonna say. And
yeah,
stuff
exactly.
about
Just
it.
plan shit out
Not
more.
stressing about, like,
Reach out to like guests. Like I had told my cousin last time I was recording, I was like, I want to use AI for certain things like that, but then there's like certain aspects where it's like maybe you don't want to use AI, like
100%.
reaching out to like certain guests. Like I want to reach out personally. I don't want to be like
Yeah.
reaching out, talking to like sending them like the most AI as prompt. Like people can see through that shit.
Exactly. That's why even with our app, like what we do is like it has to have a personal touch, and we make sure that every single message is hyper personalized. And it's not something where it's like ChatGPT is just writing it up for you. It's like we look at your profile. Here's your genre. This is how many followers
Yeah.
you have. This is how you would want to say it. This is the slang that you used when you wrote the message. So that way it's not like, hi, I am this person and I am looking to be booked this. No, it's like, hey, my name is this. Like I wanted to come through and I want to perform tonight. If that's cool with you guys. And that's what has been able to work because in the beginning we did it like that. We were sending like super AI generated prompts and it just didn't work. People weren't responding.
Yeah.
We realized when we made it more personalized and it seemed more human, there was an instant connection there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like that's a big important step because otherwise, like you said, people are just gonna see that and they're just gonna see right through it and they're like, oh, this man's. Because I feel like people appreciate you actually like putting in the effort yourself as opposed to being like, oh, this man's just generating messages. How many people has these like spam with this shit?
You know what's funny? People say that, and I actually had one of my friends. He wrote like an AI email, and he wants us to partner with like a company that he's working with. And I know he sent me an AI email. I was like, oh, you really sent me an AI email and you know me? But the opportunity was so good that I was like, regardless of if it's an AI email or not, you still communicated the message to me. And of course I'm going to say yes to this opportunity. And so I know people say that, but I was on the receiving end of it last week and I was like, I don't really mind, to be honest.
I mean, I guess it depends. Like if it really is a good opportunity, people will probably take it.
Yeah.
But when you're coming up, like you don't have like that following
For
or anything.
sure.
So it's
you
like,
need to be genuine.
yeah,
personal,
people aren't going to respond to it if you're just like some nobody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they, like you
Because
said,
it shows you didn't have the effort to actually send it.
yeah,
So
exactly.
why would they at that point?
Yeah, it's like if you're not even
you
trying to
have to
send a
be
message, it's like how serious are you about your craft if you're so too lazy to write a
I
simple
guess
message?
the opportunities are just that great
Good,
that
yeah,
it doesn't
you'll do
matter. But it's
Oh,
It
not
also
always that
depends on the person. I feel like if they're more
Yeah.
open to AI, then they're probably like
Yeah, I guess it depends on the
like,
person
yeah, it's
receiving
like,
too.
Like I
That's
feel like I'd be
true.
the same way.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I might be more open to it, but somebody else might not. That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
But I'm saying it depends on each person. I feel like I'd be that
You'd be
side.
open, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be open to. I'd be like.
But I know a lot of people who wouldn't. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people who, like some of my friends that are so anti-AI, they'll be like, bro, I don't care if, whatever you used, I am not,
Yeah. See, I mean, I feel like I'd be iffy about it. Like at the end of the day, for me, it'd be like depending on the person that sent it to me. Like if I see that they're like a hard worker, because some people I get it. Like you're too busy doing
Yeah,
your craft.
they're
You're
busy.
too busy like in your own
There are
shit.
people doing it probably
Like,
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it really depends. Like if I see that they're really working hard and like they're really trying, like whatever it is they're messaging me about, like say it's like a rapper trying to like get on a beat, and it's like I look at their stuff and it's like the most garbage rap. And it's like, and then on top of that, he sends me GPA, like ChatGPT. I'm like, nah, bro, nah. I was like, you're probably getting ChatGPT lyrics. So I guess it really depends, like the person sending it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the end of the story. Shout out AI and shout out Niral Desai.
Yeah.
Desai. My bad.
No.
I was trying to make an AI joke, but
Yeah, you're just digging yourself into a hole, bro. Just let it rock.
You're trying to make an AI joke.
yeah, it's like shout out AI and shout out Niral Desai.
Got you.
But it was corny, so.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta shoot a shot, and if it hits, it hits.
What else did you want to talk about? What else did you should talk about on here? Because I watched like a little bit, but I know you were more so talking about like personal life and.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just ramble. That's what I literally call ramblings in the basement. We kind of just go wherever. But I did want to ask more about like the you say you work with like more creative like local artists. So like what was it like your first time reaching out?
So
'Cause I
I
feel
was
like a lot of people
connected.
struggle with that. Like,
I was
the first
actually-
time getting
yeah.
into it.
So I was connected through Tapped AI. So at first it was a record label or like a I don't know how to explain it, but it was a record label.
AI
right?
record label,
AI
yeah,
record label. So it was so we basically had like a team going, like we had a group chat and stuff. So I was connected with the artists there, and then I messaged or no. So then there was an event in New York. I think that we were having the Billboard,
Yeah.
and one of the artists, Life, pulled up there, and we all like got a hotel together, and
Yeah.
then from there we just bonded. And he was saying, or I asked him, I was like, "Do you want to collab on a song?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So I showed him my chorus, like what I had down, I had recorded, and he liked it, and so he was like, "Yeah, I'll be down to be on the song with you."
Yeah.
And then I went to Richmond.
So just like going out to
For-
events.
yeah.
That's how you
Yeah.
find people.
Just basically put yourself out there.
Because I've had that struggle where it's like I always find people that like they say they want to work, but like they never pull through or
Yeah.
anything like that. I was just like, damn. It's like you're not really about it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like a doer, and I feel like all four of us are in this room,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
5 including Phil, and 6 including Layla. We're all just doers, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Still even here?
I think he took her outside.
but like we're all doers, you know. Like I feel like you starting the podcast, having a job, and then also helping with Tapped AI, and then having Tapped AI TCC, and me being artists. We're all doers. Like that's the way to do it. Because if people, like you said, like people talk and then they don't pull through,
Yeah.
so then just meaningless.
I'm always like I'm just trying to get shit done. Like I literally just got off work like right before. Like the reason I didn't come get you guys as soon as you got here was because I was taking a shower. Like, I literally just came home, set everything up, because I had all this shit packed away since we're selling the house right now. So like we have people coming in.
You know, I get
Yeah,
it,
so I was like, let me put all this expensive equipment away. I don't want anyone touching that shit. So I literally got home, set all this up real quick, went to take a shower, and then we're here recording. Like,
Yeah, you don't even gotta explain it.
So-
You're good.
So if you're watching, basically, just be a doer. Do what you say you're gonna do, and
except that you're not gonna have that much free time for like
Yeah.
other shit. Like I stopped
Yeah.
playing
And
video
put
games.
yourself out
I
there.
stopped smoking. Like I've sacrificed like so much of my free time, just doing shit like this.
I have no free time, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I give up
you don't
so
you don't
much
give
that it's
yourself
like
any free time because you
Free time
literally
I have is
working.
maybe just the gym or just hanging out with these guys, but then half the time it ends up turning into like a work convo.
You start
Or,
talking
like,
about
something that,
work.
Like we're just talking about because we work like on so many different things together
Yeah.
or projects. I think the biggest thing too is like people are just afraid to just get started because they think there's so much pressure. And I
Yeah.
think like it's easy to say like be a doer and they should be doers, but
Yeah.
they should also change their mindset of like
that first step.
that first step.
Yeah.
Like bro, you don't need to have an LLC and everything figured out and all your equipment. Go do voice memos.
Yeah.
You don't know how to make music.
Just start doing.
Go on Snapchat and
Yeah.
do voice memos, and then get a YouTube beat, and then it's gonna sound terrible. It's gonna be mixed
Yeah.
terribly.
Oh,
You put
yeah.
it out there.
Practice.
It's the
Yeah.
first
Or
steps.
or if there really is that much for you, like we were talking about this conversation about people being lazy. If you really think that there's an issue and you know that there's something wrong, or you don't have enough resources, okay, you don't like AI, change your mindset on AI. Go get a beat from something or help. We were talking about ChatGPT lyrics, right?
Yeah.
If you say that you can't write lyrics and you have no creative freedom and you're not going to go find somebody to help you or you're not going to find that within yourself internally, but you want to make music and you keep telling everybody you're going to go make music, then go get lyrics from AI. I don't
Yeah.
think you should do that. I'm never
I mean,
in
it's a
favor of
start
that.
though. At least
But
you get like
just get
yeah.
started because
And then they
people
can
complain.
move
Because then
around,
as
yeah.
you move around, you start to get more confident, and when you get more confident, you'll start to get
100%.
that creativity more
Yeah.
to do those types of things.
I think a big step too is like you said, going out to events and like meeting people and socializing. Because at least for me, like the biggest issue has been like I said, I was never social. So I would always I literally had to learn everything by myself. Whereas like I feel like if you start socializing with people, you start picking up like how they do things, and then you like learn little tips. Like
I
little
can
tricks
relate
like that.
to you on that. I wasn't very social in high school either. College, not so much either. Like somewhat. But one thing I'll say is, you gotta have a team around you that is like-minded, and they'll push you to be social.
Yeah.
Like until 2023, 2024, this is the most social I've been. and that's because Ilias, Phil, Brian, the people I've surrounded myself with, Kenny, the people I've surrounded myself with, we're all social. We all like are trying to achieve a goal where we're all
Bettering our lives.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
like, we're all basically trying to help each other out at the
Yeah.
same
That's about
time.
working
Bro,
together
this dude
towards a
calls
common
me
goal.
out. Like if I'm eating unhealthy, like this is why I
Yeah.
love him, bro. Like if I literally eat bad, right? He'll look at me and give me that look. I'll be like, damn, bro.
Like, you're right.
I was like, why am I eating like this,
You
bro?
didn't give me that look today when I ate that.
Yeah, and today I didn't give. I was like, I'm gonna let him pass, bro. So that way, next time when I do it, he'll give me that pass. But no, like that's the type. Like, or I'll even call him. I'll be
That's
like,
a
bro.
wild theory.
I'll be like, look, bro. I don't care. You're coming to the gym tonight. I was like, you were telling me you're gonna get fit. You missed like you know, like let's do it. I was like, come to the gym. He'll be like, let's do it. We go an hour on the treadmill, go lift for you know, like an hour, and then or even with him, like, god damn, bro, you go work out with this man at the gym, bro, you gonna fall apart, bro. This man literally like takes the gym OD serious, but like when you really need to get on it, bro, he's the guy to do it. Or even with Phil, you know, it's like certain times, like, let's say for example, when it comes to music, right? He'll tell you, like, he'll literally go to his face and be like, I don't like it. Or I'll tell him, I don't like that, bro. Now, he can go and do whatever he wants at the end of the day. If he still wants to release it, he's more than welcome to. We don't have handcuffs on each other and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, we're going to voice our opinion. We're trying to help each other. Or even him, like, he'll be like, yo, bro, you're being a little too extra right now. Like, calm down. Or, like, and that's what I love about our friend group is that, like, I've always had good friends around me. That's never been a question. But now I have friends that are above that can also, like, hold me accountable. Because there's a difference when you have a good friend and you can go hang out and go to like Dave and Buster's with them, or go to, like, an event or a party. But then to have a friend that'll tell you that
So you're trying to like get better together.
eat better. You need to start making more money. You need to do this and that. Or how can we elevate our lives? Okay, we need to move to a different city and focus on the market there. What is that? You know? And that's why I like it, bro. Because it's I remember like when it was just me doing it and it was like hard.
Yeah, it really is about having a good team.
Yeah. Because even those days where you don't feel like doing it, you have no choice, bro.
Yeah.
People around you are
Getting peer pressured into it.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Not for sure.
Team is important, I'll say that.
I wanted to ask you, like, have you ever gone to like musical ciphers?
Musical ciphers.
Like freestyle battles? Like rap battles?
Kind of like that.
Not
It's
like a professional one, but
It's like,
like we just mess around,
Yeah, we freestyle in
freestyle.
the car.
All the
um,
time.
Yeah, so
all
that's
the
basically
time.
what like a cipher, like a musical cipher is like whenever people get together, they just like play random, like they just play like out of nowhere, like you just kind of come up with something on the spot.
Oh,
It's like the reason I bring that up is because I've actually hosted a couple here at the house.
oh nice.
Was I'll just have like a bunch of local artists. They'll pull up. They'll like bring their guitars, piano, whatever instrument they play, and we just like come up with something on the spot. And then I mean, last time, I mean, we've only done 2 so far. We're planning on doing a 3rd one
For sure, let me
sometime
know.
before I leave.
Yeah,
I'll
come
I'll
through.
definitely hit you up about it.
Yeah.
And then you can always bring anyone else you know.
all 4 of us might pull up.
Yeah, like I always tell everyone there, like it's a networking event, so like people, you can like get to know other local artists, and then it's also kind of just like getting yourself out of the shell, because the whole point is like a lot of people come into that thinking like, oh, I'm not that talented, like I don't really know how to play. It's like, bro, the whole point of this is not to like make good music. Like, we're not recording any of it. We're just having fun. We're just letting loose, and it kind of helps you improve. And you kind of like be like, all right, fuck it, and you kind of just like jump into like someone starts playing something on the piano, and then the next person like grabs their guitar and like add something to it. And you kind of just jump into it and you start
Builds off
adding,
each other.
building up. And then at the end, you end up with like some pretty decent shit. None of it gets recorded, but it's kind of like a practice in a way.
What I think would be good is like once you get people like really comfortable like that, you know, go in the studio after if people want to.
Yeah.
You know?
Not for sure.
It's how you make great music, when you're just having fun and you're the most comfortable and it's all organic. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I bring out the laptop sometimes, so it's like if anyone wants to record, like it's there. But it's like I never want to put that pressure on everyone, because I've had so many people like reject the invite because they're just like, no, and like they're too like nervous about it. I was like, bro, just come, pull up. We're just hanging out. We're just playing. And then if y'all decide to record, the option is there.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like at least for those events, it's just about, you know, letting loose and just kind of getting to know each other's styles too. It's like see if you can work with someone else, because some people, not everyone's styles is gonna match. You know, like some people have just completely different styles, but it kind of like you figure out each other's like different styles, different genres and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we also like on top of like playing, we'll like showcase each other's like music. So if like someone has like a track they just released. You just like listen to it, play it out. I mean, it's just like I said, it's just like a musician networking event. So I've actually been thinking about reaching out because speaking of local artists, the reason I brought it up was because I've actually been looking out for local artists to bring onto the podcast. I don't know if you saw that part of the episode where I was talking about like I kind of just part of the reason I built this podcast was so I can like give people that exposure, because I feel like a lot of people don't really receive that exposure, and like you said, it's about like hearing their background story and like letting the listeners actually get to know the person. Because a lot of times like they'll hear their music and you can learn a little bit about them. Like maybe they'll have like a song that like tells you a little bit about them, but it's just like one story in the song. It's like you actually sit down, you listen to like an hour-long podcast, you get to know their person, and then on top of that, even if you've never heard of the artist, the podcast allows incentivize you to go check them out.
Bro, you could even listen to like 8 songs by an artist and you still haven't even listened to an hour of their music.
Yeah.
Listen to one podcast, you listen to him speak to him in an hour for
you get
him
to know a lot
speaking his
more.
heart out and talking about his story and everything. And then when you go listen to that music, now you're listening to it with a second ear, because he might be like, oh, Trust Issues is about this song where I got like stabbed in the back and then a car came and then, you know, like a demon picked me up, and you know what I'm talking about, like just some wild stuff.
You get some
now you look at that song different.
Stuff.
Now it's like, oh, he just had trust issues, but nah, this is like, bro, he was done.
I think it's like a little deeper than like, because like Genius has like the lyrics thing. It's kind of like that, but I feel like this goes a little deeper because they really get to like fully express like exactly what was going through their head when they wrote it.
Yeah.
Or you know, when they produced it, if they're a producer or whatever. But speaking of that, what got you into music? Like, what made you decide you wanted to be a rapper?
So pretty much 2023, early of 2023, I unfortunately broke my kneecap. And so when I broke my kneecap, I wasn't able to go to my job. I wasn't able to go to the gym. All my hobbies that I was doing, I like didn't have that outlet to like go to that. So then from there, I just started making music, like writing music on my note page. Cause I'm just sitting on my bed, like I don't want to just be bored all the day. And I'm like, and at that time, I wasn't the type to like watch or binge watch a shit ton of movies or like, TV shows. Like I would, but then I was getting tired here and there. And I was like,
you feel like you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, because it was 6 months. Because breaking a kneecap is not like fracturing.
Yeah,
you're legit can't move for 6 months. Yeah, so during that time, I started making music and then started uploading on Snapchat. Ilias saw that. He was like, yo.
And I was just mad. I wasn't even happy with it, bro. I just kept seeing it on my phone. He'd always post these damn freestyles. And I was like, you know what? And we hadn't talked in a couple years too, right? And I kept looking at the Snapchats every day. I was just seeing the roll.
But did you,
So angry.
But did you fuck with the freestyle? Like, was it good?
Nah, it wasn't that good.
Shit.
No, because now he makes way better music for sure. But we can both admit, like, you would look at it. And like, bro, when I looked at it at the time, I was just like, I mean, it wasn't the worst, but I was just like, bro, like, stop posting this every day on your Snapchat. Like, this is not where it should go. Like, if you have this much passion, because I think one time he had like a 5-minute freestyle on his Snapchat story. And I was like, all right, bro, I'm fed up, bro. I was like, I hadn't talked to him in a couple years.
Snapchat be chopping it up too.
Yeah, bro. So you gotta go like, do. Bro, like, I swiped up and I said, bro, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said something along the lines like, bro, this is horrendous, like, or this is a joke, bro. You gotta go and, like, if you're gonna do this, go to a
commit to it
and commit to it. And I barely knew him. That was out of pocket for me to say. Like, he could have been like, you know, screw off. Like, who are you to give me this unsolicited advice?
Shit.
But I was like, look, I'll go one step further and I'll even connect you with one of my friends that has beats. And then he was able to talk to him, and then he bought a beat from him, and then he also connected with an engineer that he put him on with. And then, you know, they've been able to.
You know what's funny? I had a similar story. I don't know if y'all remember Hitesh.
I do,
He used to do the same shit on Facebook. That was like before Snapchat.
Really?
He used to do the same shit. He'll post like a bunch of freestyles on Facebook.
I think I saw it, because in high school I would freestyle.
I think it was like in high school. And I hit him up. I was like, bro, like, why don't you like do something with this? Like, you just freestyle like on Facebook. That's not gonna get you anywhere. But that was before I produced. Well, I was producing, but I was doing EDM. And then when I finally started doing like hip hop instrumentals and shit, I hit him up again. I was like, yo, so like I've been making some hip hop beats. Like, I don't know if you want to like hop on or something. But at that point, he was like, I don't even make music anymore. I was like, bruh. I was like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get you some connections or something to get you started.
You're like,
but-
let's start back up the career.
right? Yeah, I literally I kept bugging him about it. I was like, come on, bro, like let's just get something together. And he was like, nah, I'm not feeling it. I was like, all right, whatever. So I'm not gonna push you.
It's honestly that first move. As soon as you like decide you want to do something, like you said, it's like from there just consistency. You just keep going
Yeah.
with it. Obviously, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but that first step of deciding like, no, I want to do this. Like when Ilias texted me that, I never took any offense. I was like, he knows what he's talking about. He's been in this. Like everyone in the area knows what TCC is. Like regardless of if they fuck with it or not. Sorry if I can't curse. But,
Nah, you're good.
like regardless if they don't like it or not, people know who TCC is. And so I was like, yo, I'm gonna learn from this guy because he knows what he's talking about. So he told me, yeah, 100%. So he told me, he was like, go to this guy, Gabe, Infamous G. Shout out Gabe. He has some fire beats. I got like 10 beats off him. I just wanted to keep going to the studio because once I went to the studio the first time, I was like, yo, this is just like my happy place. Like this shit's fun. Like just going there, just making music. So then the point of what I'm trying to say is just make that first move, and then from there.
So like,
Anything else?
what do you usually write about, if you don't mind me asking? Like, is
So
it
I have like
every-
different like. So usually when I start writing, my process is, I'll listen to a beat, I'll hear it, I'll get smacked, and then I'll feel what it's trying to tell me, like what the beat's trying to tell me. So for example, what's my first song? Rich Boy. Let's go to Trust Issues, for example. Trust Issues. With that song, we wanted to go with something vulnerable. So we're like, okay, let's go with something where you're talking about, because Rich Boy was not vulnerable, just like you just talking your shit. Right?
Yeah.
My first song, I was just talking my shit. People say it's
I mean,
good.
some people like
Yeah.
that though.
Yeah.
I was like, it's
So
like
then,
party
yeah.
music.
So then my second one, I was like, you know what? Let me go with something that's more relatable, people can relate to. So I was like, I got trust issues. And I just started rhyming with that. I'm like, don't get this shit confused. You know more, why you acting brand new. So from there, like, that's how my process. I just feel what the beat's trying to tell me, feel what the topic I'm trying to convey, and then from there, just put into one.
Yeah, because I had a similar conversation with one of my friends. He also has a podcast. Shout out Todo Tranquilo. But I had a similar conversation where I was asking, because he randomly hit me up. He doesn't make music at all, but he randomly hit me up one day. He's like, yo, I want to make a song. And he was like, let's just get to work on it. I was like, all right, fuck it. He wanted to make like an R&B type of song. I've never made R&B instrumentals.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, I'll try. But I was like, I don't know where I'm doing with this. So I threw something together, and he came over, and he was asking me for tips, like how to write shit. And I was like, I've never written like R&B or anything like that. But I was like, I can tell you how I write my shit. So I started like telling him. But for me, it's always been like, whenever I'm writing something, like there has to be like a clear message. Because he was telling me like in the hip hop and like R&B, I feel like he was saying like in that whole like genre is like mostly about like getting like a really nice one-liners and like nothing like
Catchy.
not like catchy, like something that's just gonna catch people's attention. And I was like, I can't write like that, bro. Like, so like none of my tips were helping him, because I was
My
like,
advice, if you're trying to get for like, if that's what you're leading towards to, my advice for like writing something catchy is make the chorus really super catchy, and obviously care about your verses. But when you're first starting, this is how I started. And people said my strength was my choruses, because I would make something really catchy, but then not only that is you hear the same chorus 2-3 times. So you want to make your chorus the catchiest part.
Best part.
The best part, because you're not just gonna hear one time in a song and then that's it.
the part that's
Like
gonna
the
get stuck in
verse,
people's heads.
You're gonna
too, so.
you're gonna hear it a second, a third time, potentially a fourth time,
Yeah.
right? So you want to make that really catchy, make it really something where people can like move to, and then from there just then from there I started learning how to write verses better.
So have you just done singles for now?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever worked on any big
So I
projects?
haven't had a album or EP yet, but
You should never do that. That's the
Nah,
number one
don't
rule.
don't hop into that just yet.
Yeah.
Like maybe like an EP, but like albums are like when you really have a following.
yeah.
Because otherwise you're putting like too much work for like not really the gain.
And it's also like it caps you too. Like I've worked in the music business. I've been in A&R. I've worked at labels. I know how this system works. I hope the biggest takeaway that people can take with this is that like 50 Cent, Nipsey Hussle say this themselves. When you're independent, do not drop an album, because then when they see your sales as like an independent artist, they put you in a box and they're like, oh, this is your worth because you dropped this album and this is how much you were able to push yourself. But if you go into a label meeting and then you don't have an album, they can't put a number on you. And singles are easier to push as well, right?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, like obviously, if the system is gonna mess you up or like screw you over, if the music
the
industry
outsmarted.
and the labels are meant to screw you over, you don't sit here and complain. You learn the system and you learn how to screw it itself. That's gonna be really hard, but there's like little things like that you can do to set yourself up for success. So when you walk into those rooms, you're not being taken advantage of. And so like that's the biggest thing I'd say is do not drop an album. Obviously, creatively, like do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody who plans on like getting to that next level and getting bigger, you have to have a blueprint, and that's not just gonna happen by doing whatever you want. Even the big artists who do whatever they want, or like it seems like it just works out for them and they go viral every time. I hate to break it to you, they have a team behind them. They have a lot of money behind them. And you who, like not you specifically, but just like an artist who is just like in their bedroom is not going to have that same effect. Maybe there might be 1 in a million or like 1 in every 100 million, but it doesn't just happen like that.
No,
There's a lot more strategy in behind the scenes than people know.
See, what I'm saying is we know what we're talking about.
No, not like that, not like that.
No, I'm saying it because he knows. I'll say it for you.
But I'm not an expert.
Yeah, I know.
What I'm saying is like at the end of the day, there are little things that we know that could help people for sure.
He knows what we're talking. What he's talking about. That's all I'm saying. Because there's so much I've learned. Because before like going into music and stuff, I wasn't in like. I mean, I just listen. You know, I'm just a listener. I was never making music growing up. So then when I started to, in this past year, I've learned more in this past year than I've learned like in school.
His music business like, is crazy now. Like I was telling him, like, because he knows a lot of stuff too from like running a business. He runs a store outside of it, and so sometimes he'll like implement some of those tactics into like his music and stuff like that. And what else was I gonna say?
They're just natural ways to make money.
Like, and that goes across every industry. Another thing I wanted to give to people before we end was like get like an Instagram. I think like obviously people talk about how they're not connected or whatever. Instagram is the best tool you can use in the music industry. You can just randomly DM people. People can find you. They'll reach out to you, and it's just so easy to get connected with people.
I never had Instagram. Sorry to interrupt. I never had Instagram, and then I just made it, and then start building. Just keep posting. Be consistent. It's gonna be like not like super easy at first, but once you get in the groove of it, you cop that book. Cheat codes. Get that book for real, because he tells me I don't even need the book because he tells me like basically what's in the book. Yeah, but for everyone out there that doesn't have that like connection with Ilias, I would say get the book for sure.
I forgot what I was gonna say. You just gotta thrust yourself into the scene, I guess. Just like get connected, have that network with you. Because otherwise you're not really going to get anywhere by yourself. Like I know a lot of people get into this, they're like, oh, I'm about to make it big by myself. And it's like, you can get to a certain level, but without that whole network around you, I feel like you're not going to make that much progress.
The biggest artists in the world have a team around them. That's what I'll say. I
mean, having a team and just like, I mean, like a network in general, just like knowing other artists and like working together, having like, not even just artists, like if you're like the podcast, having like other podcast hosts, just like getting to know how they do it, and then they talk to other people and shit.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been wanting to reach out to other like local artists, just bring them on, get to know them personally, but also get to know them like on a more professional level, like get to know like how they get their stuff together, how they work and all that.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know about the next cipher. We'll pull up.
Yeah, for sure. I'll hit you guys up.
Let's get in the studio tonight.
Yeah, I'll be down.
I mean, it's right
I
there.
have a song right now that I want to crank out, actually.
Shit, we can pop in there right now. Honestly, how long we've been recording? About an hour, 58 minutes.
An hour 58?
No, just 58 minutes.
Oh, I was about to say.
I said about an hour, 58 minutes. Shit.
I mean, if you want to end, we can end.
Yeah, we can start wrapping it up. If y'all want to step into the booth.
Maybe we can get like a snippet of behind the scenes of the
post that up there.
Studio session.
Yo, you know what would be really cool, bro? Not to tell you how to like run whatever you're doing, But if you ever do bring artists on, like after the podcast, if they are interested in making music, if you had like a camera, so that way after the podcast, you guys go in together, just after having like a real intimate conversation,
Behind the scenes
and then
stuff.
behind the scenes of filming that song, and then they drop that song, and then the people who watch the podcast were a part of that journey,
that moment,
that moment. And if that becomes like a hit song, they'll feel like, oh, I was the first. I
Yeah.
don't know, that'd be cool, but just like you know, like a
It would be
little
cool.
camera in there.
No, that
That'll
would
be a
tough.
different
And
take
that's
on
a different
it. Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
I've never seen a podcast
Different
like
approach.
that ever.
Yeah. Oh, my sister's here.
Awesome.
2015.
How you doing?
That feels better.
He found his way back.
2017, that's when I graduated.
So yeah, I guess it's a perfect time to wrap up. Thank you for everyone who tuned in.
Yes, sir.
And
We'll
I
be
guess we'll
back.
step into the booth.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.